Who is the objectively smartest character in cinematic history? When you hear the word smart character in movies, those cliche stereotypes probably come to mind right away. You might picture a billionaire in the high-tech armor, or a hacker typing furiously on 5 monitors. You might think of Tony Stark inventing a new element, or Bruce Wayne relying on a massive surveillance machine. But what if I told you that relying on billion-dollar tech is actually a weakness? What if I told you about a #1 character who needs no suit, no gadgets, no money, and no physical strength? Someone who can completely dismantle your reality and drive you to absolute madness using nothing but a few carefully chosen words. Yes, today we aren't making an ordinary list based on popularity. Today we are stripping away the plot armor and placing the most terrifying, sharpest, and most objective minds in cinema into a pyramid. We'll count down from 10 to 1, examining intelligence across 4 different levels, layer by layer. We are embarking on a journey of the mind, ranging from patient architects and chaos managers to strategic masterminds and the ultimate gods of pure manipulation. When you see number 1 at the end of the video, you will realize how raw intelligence is a far more dangerous force than any weapon ever created. So let me warn you right now, this video will challenge how you perceive smart people. If you are ready for these mind games in the depths of cinema, hit the like button and subscribe to the Scene Atlas channel, because on this channel, we don't just watch movies, we dissect the minds of those films. If you've subscribed, let the countdown begin. We are at the bottom layer of the pyramid, level 1. This is where architect intelligence resides. These characters calculate everything down to the millimeter, relying on relentless patience and meticulous preparation. Their plans run like an unstoppable clockwork. At number 10, Andy Dufresne. True intelligence requires patience. Andy didn't use lasers or explosives to escape the most secure prison in the state. He used his deep knowledge of geology, tax law, and a tiny rock hammer. He laundered money right under the warden's nose for nearly 2 decades, perfectly timing his escape with a thunderstorm to mask the sound of breaking pipes. His intelligence was quiet, invisible, and flawless. At number 9, Danny Ocean. Robbing the 3 biggest casinos in Las Vegas simultaneously, despite their massive security networks, Danny was a flawless orchestrator leading an army. He didn't just crack codes, he memorized camera angles, security protocols, and the slightest vulnerabilities of the staff. He even planned down to the detail of crashing the casino's power grid to sneak his own SWAT team inside. Danny calculated every logistical possibility. And what about number 8? Lisbeth Salander. Lisbeth possesses a photographic memory and raw, unmatched analytical processing power. She doesn't just hack computers, she hacks people's histories. She connects decades-old cold cases by seeing patterns in numbers and religious verses that entire police departments missed for 40 years. Her brain is a terrifying search engine. But wait, these characters in level 1 have a massive weakness. Their intelligence is heavily dependent on preparation and logic. If their flawless blueprint falls apart, or if a totally irrational factor enters the game, they can freeze. Exactly at this point, we move on to those terrifying minds who can create a brand new, flawless plan in their head within seconds, feeding on absolute chaos. Welcome to level 2. This is where all plans on the table are thrown in the trash and the survival instinct turns into the purest, fastest form of intelligence. You can never catch them unprepared. For them, a moment of crisis is when their genius shines the brightest. At number 7, Jason Bourne. The moment Bourne enters a room, he is a walking supercomputer who, within seconds, analyzes the exit routes, the weights and moods of the people inside, and the potential objects he can use. With a rolled-up magazine, a ballpoint pen, or a simple towel, he can take down fully armed assassins. His spatial awareness and combat IQ allow his brain to adapt instantly to any threat. At number 6, Kaiser Sose. How smart do you have to be to sit in a police interrogation room, completely cornered, and invent a legendary, flawless, complex mafia narrative right on the spot? Kaiser Sose looked at a messy bulletin board behind the detective and used random names and brands to construct a lie so brilliant that the cops literally let a mass murderer walk out the front door. That is god-tier improvisation. And here we are at number 5, the Joker. He claims he has no plan, but that is his greatest lie. The Joker's intelligence lies in weaponizing chaos. He gave 2 ferries full of people the choice to blow each other up, turning human psychology into a math problem. He manipulates the police department, the mob, and Batman all at once, forcing his opponents to make impossible moral choices. The Joker's intelligence comes from using society's blind faith in rules as a weapon against them. If your mind isn't exhausted yet, hit that subscribe button on the screen now and take a deep breath. Because soon we are descending into a much darker, much more strategic and philosophical level of intelligence. Level 3. This is a layer that pushes the boundaries of human nature. This level is the home of those who don't just win fights, they control the entire reality of the world around them. They trap you in a puzzle you don't even know you're playing. At number 4, Amy Dunn. How terrifying can human intelligence be? Amy Dunn orchestrated her own disappearance down to the millimeter, playing society and the media's perception like a puppet. She masterfully dripped her own blood onto the kitchen floor, leaving a fake treasure hunt for the cops. She didn't just aim to throw her husband in jail, she calculated exactly how he would behave on TV, and turned the entire American media into a lynching machine against him. She hacked the narrative of the entire country. At number 3, John Doe. John Doe created an inescapable philosophical puzzle. He didn't just commit murders, he turned the 7 deadly sins into a horrifying masterpiece. His true genius wasn't in hiding from the police, it was in his final act. He orchestrated a scenario so perfectly manipulative that he forced the hero of the story to pull the trigger, completing the villain's masterpiece for him. John Doe's intelligence was about understanding human wrath and making his own death the ultimate victory. If what you've heard so far has given you the chills, hold on tight, because we have reached the absolute peak, the very tip of the intelligence pyramid. Here we find the minds that can foresee the future and destroy you from the inside out. This is level 4. Being in the same room with these characters is far more dangerous than standing in a minefield. They read your mind, predict your moves, and rot you from the inside out using nothing but their intellect. At number 2, Sherlock Holmes. Whether he is solving an impossible Victorian murder or engaging in physical combat, Holmes's brain operates on a different frequency. He observes the dirt on your shoes, the calluses on your fingers, and the twitch in your eye, deducing your entire life story in a fraction of a second. In a fight, he mathematically calculates the exact trajectory of every punch, bone fracture, and recovery time before a single blow is thrown. He is the ultimate deductive machine, and here we are. At number 1, the undisputed peak of cinematic intelligence. The character who needs no items, no tech, and no freedom to be the most dangerous thing on Earth. At number 1, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. Do you know why Hannibal is objectively at the top? Because even when he is locked inside a glass cell meters underground, wearing a straitjacket, he is still the most powerful, most dangerous, and most free person in that room. Hannibal Lecter's intelligence is superhuman. When rookie FBI agent Clarice Starling stood before him, Hannibal read her entire past, her small-town inferiority, and her childhood traumas in seconds, just from the cheap perfume she wore and the quality of her shoes. When the inmate in the next cell bothered him, Hannibal didn't yell, he just whispered to him all night. And with those dark words, he drove the man to swallow his own tongue and commit suicide. Unarmed, without touching, just by invading his dark mind. Hannibal Lecter doesn't make plans because the mind of the person in front of him is just an open book waiting to be read. This is the purest, most fascinating, and most dangerous type of intelligence ever put to film. We've placed the objectively smartest characters in cinematic history into our intelligence pyramid. First, we saw the patient architects, then the masters of chaos, the strategic narrative controllers, and finally, the ultimate gods of manipulation. So, what level are you in this pyramid? Or who is the one character you say absolutely should have been on this list? Write it in the comments, let's test your cinema culture. If you enjoyed these mind games and this psychological depth, and if you still haven't subscribed to Scene Atlas, now is the perfect time to hit that button. But wait, it's not over yet. The dark and flawless mind of number 1, Hannibal Lecter, deeply fascinated you too, didn't it? Well, do you want to see exactly how he played FBI agents, an entire police force, and his victims like puppets using only words from behind that thick glass? Do you want to know the true psychological purpose lying beneath his chilling silence? If you have the courage to descend into the deepest parts of this flawless mind, click on my Hannibal Lecter character analysis video popping up on the screen right now. Things get much more dangerous over there. See you in that video. Goodbye.